Hello, viewers. My name is Adam,
And I'm Aaron.
and this is Siki Media Production. This is going to be our Doctor Strange review.
Now, this is a movie that's supposed to be the Kickstarter for Marvel to enter into the more mystical parts of their franchise.
14 movies in. They were supposed to have done this way back when they introduced Thor to the picture, but
you know how that one ended up. Instead of going with the Norse god mythology and going hard into the mysticism supposed to surround that, they decided they were going to take the approach towards aliens and extraterrestrials because for the most part of the movies that came before it, it was basically a scientific-driven franchise. The Thor franchise happens to be Marvel's Cinematic Universe's worst entries. And you have to kind of wonder, is that because they didn't go hard, full force with the magic?
But we do get at least a sense of that approach in this film.
And for the most part, I'm glad to actually say it's a pretty good film.
So we're going to go right into the thick of this review with the whole story of the film.
Basically, this story follows the Dr. Stephen Strange, a renowned neurosurgeon who is the top of his field. This is a pretty, self-centered type of character, very arrogant, very much like another character in the Marvel films. Dare I say,
Robert Downey, Tony Stark, clone?
I'd go with twin, but basically, if you get these two guys in the same room, you're bound to have some fun. And, well, you could probably say that Stephen Strange maybe has a little way too much fun, because eventually he finds himself into a very deep and very dangerous accident, which ends up robbing him of his very life's work, which has to deal with his own hands.
It's so gruesome. Oh, God, that actually went very far detail with that.
But anywho, after this, he ends up going through a ruckus because, of course, his hands are everything to him. It's how he got his work is basically half of who he is. And he exhausts a lot of his resources trying to find a way to try and fix himself so he can get that type of life again. And then he's really down on his luck and basically has no more hope. He finds himself going towards these group of mystics who can promise him a chance to make his life better again.
Well, for the most part, despite of what it's trying to show a whole different side of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, from how it does and structure-wise, it still follows the same basic formula of what most Marvel origin stories go by.
Good guy gets down on his luck, finds something new to make them better, and then eventually finds out that whatever they've learned or whatever they got to make them better has to be used for the greater good against a force or people that seek to cause harm or trouble. And I guess, we're bringing it down to such a simplistic moment because, simplistic narrative because that's exactly what this is. It's very simplistic. Anybody can kind of follow this particular type of narrative. But it's not to say that it's not done well, because it is. I enjoy the characters.
Well, characters, from basic Marvel, you feel as though these characters do fit into the tone of that world.
They're likable. Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing as Dr. Strange. I really do believe that he brings some form of life into the character.
And despite the controversy of whitewashing the role of the Asian one, Tilda Swinton, she does what she can with the role, and to effect it serves the film as what it is.
You really do believe this character, the ancient one, to be a wellspring of knowledge and importance, and she definitely brings a sort of awe-inspiring characteristics into this role. And then you have a character like Mordo, Baron Mordo.
Yeah, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor,
who was pretty damn good. He was. I liked him. He brought us a feel of regality almost to it.
Yes, he does. Besides those three leads, we do trim it down to the generic characters and the background characters, like Rachel McAdams, Christine Palmer. She's another failed attempt at a leading love interest for hero.
I mean, she's not. This is definitely not a case where they make another damsel in distress. It's not like that in this film, but it is a character who you know and recognize. The only purpose for this character to be here is that they serve to be a love interest. They're just somebody that Doctor Strange happens to have feelings for, and it never really rises above that. And then you go into another character, which is supposed to be the bad guy. I mean, I keep forgetting this guy's name. What was it?
I don't know, but he played by Matt Mikkelsen.
A brilliant actor.
And one thing more about the Marvel villains, that they're doing the same things for each of these villains. They're just they're the same as the hero.
A mirror reflection
of the hero, just with the amount of depth to their character is just toned way down just to serve the hero better.
When I get a villain, I want to be able to picture their motives and understand them, and I want to be, if they're a really big threat, I want to be able to feel like I'm threatened by them, or if they're just like somebody who has ideas that may not necessarily be of the same plane as mine, or the main protagonist, it's still something that is, bigger than run around and cause trouble.
Now, from the action point of view, where we get into production, the production, I feel as though it had ups and downs.
Yeah, I mean, there are sequences in this film where you really are impressed with what they're doing, but even when you're impressed by what they're doing, it's not like this is not something you haven't already seen before. I think the biggest thing you could take out of this movie is that this was just a far more visually stunning Inception, and it never really rises above that. It truly is just an Inception movie done better.
It gives you a glimpse of what this whole other side of the cinematic universe could be.
But it never rises above that. And that's a shame, for instance, because this is supposed to be the introduction into a wider, more mystical part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And it doesn't really reach us to that level, especially with the character who's supposed to be the Sorcerer Supreme.
Part of this, widening and embracing this whole other side, this should be done throughout the whole film. Case in point, the film takes a long time for him to become the Super Sorcerer Supreme that we want to know until the last third of the act. But we don't actually get a sense of that training or that fulfillment because the film decides to rush quite a few times.
This film could have definitely been better if there was an extra 20 or maybe even 30 minutes brought into it, just so you can have enough time to actually get to know Stephen Strange a little bit better and flesh out the world a little bit more, which is actually something that a lot of these Marvel films fail to do. You never get a full sense of the world they're supposed to be a part of, or how those actions that they take in these films truly affect each other. So, when you bring it down to the end of the day, Doctor Strange is, of course, a good movie. As always, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe.
My name is Adam.
And I'm Aaron.
And this has been a Seeking Media Productions.
See ya!
Thank you.